The elites are about to move to the next phase. Shalom, Call Halal, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone who do rule and teach well. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Barakatham to all the sincere believers out there listening and learning. So just a few things I want to touch on real quick. And one thing that has been prominent and profound in the news is the threat of a nationwide blackout. Now, of course, since the movie came out, we always reference it, Leave the World Behind, in which there was a blackout of the entire East Coast of the United States. And as the days go by, we've seen, matter of fact, it's ongoing. I forget which company it is, but the medical system is under attack. You know, they're actively attacking the medical system right now through cyber warfare. You know, pharmacies were targeted about a week and a half ago. Before that, it was AT&T. Then you had the Instagram and X social media platforms that were down. So we know that they're testing things. Last year in the summertime, governors and senators, they were given satellite phones. And the only reason why they were given satellite phones is because they were made aware. They were made privy that in the future there will be a blackout. The lights are going to go out. So they would need those satellite phones to still be able to communicate and make moves while the whole of America is in chaos. They've also brought in many sleeper cells, paid mercenaries that they're labeling as migrants that have come into America. They are going to be activated at a certain point. They've also been given satellite phones. So we see that the elites are setting up a diabolical scenario in which many people are about to be taken in a great number and don't even know it. Right now, people are living in leisure. They think because they can get food at a cheap price, relatively cheap, they think because they can still put gas in their car, or they can plan a vacation, or they can go to and fro freely, that everything's all good. They're so caught up in the bubble of their own life that they're not even paying attention to what's going on in the wider world. But see, what the Lord is about to do, he's about to open these people's eyes the hard way, you see. Because all this time you've had the prophets out here telling you what's about to happen, to get yourself right, to repent. And the time for crying aloud is going to be no more, you see, because we know censorship is coming down the pipe. Okay, the Bible is about to be outlawed. Preaching of the word is about to be outlawed. Okay, Amos 8:11, the famine of hearing the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. The time for this ministry is almost done. And when it does happen, people are going to be searching for answers. They're not going to know what's going on because they didn't choose to seek the truth while it was available. Okay, the scriptures say to seek the Lord while he may be found. So that right there lets you know it's going to come a time where the Lord is not going to be able to be found. But like I mentioned, many people are about to be taken in a great number. Let me read this here in 2nd Ezra 5 and verse 8. It says, there shall be confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters, and salt waters shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Okay, now what does this sound like? This sounds like Jeremiah 30:7, right? The time of Jacob's trouble, a time that has never been seen before and shall likewise not be seen again after. So this is the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, as Elder Apostle Tahar labeled the year of 2024. So we see that the elites, they're ramping up. They're desperate. They know they're at the end of the road. So desperate times call for desperate measures, you see. But we're coming into a time where the world as you know it, the scriptures say that the fashion of this world pass away. You know, so yeah, friends are going to turn on one another. Families are going to be divided. A lot of homicide and suicide is going to increase. Wickedness as a whole is going to increase. I mean, you're already seeing it. But when the lights go out, when certain resources are not abundant anymore, that's when you're going to see things take off to the next level. And they're going to use this blackout for multiple reasons. Okay, number one, we know that they're going to wipe these banking institutions. All the data is going to be wiped clean. People are not going to have money. Of course, people are going to be scared, because people are already in gross darkness, but they're going to be in physical darkness, so the darkness that is already on these people is going to be magnified to another degree, you see. But confusion is going to envelop the people. People are going to be looking for answers. Life as you know it is going to be no more. They're also going to use it as a catalyst to induce people, I'll use that word, to go and fight in these wars that are going to happen. You see, because right now, and I don't want to go on too long, I just want to hit a couple points, but right now, there's a major threat of war in Europe between NATO and Russia's allies. That's like the most pressing thing right now, you see. So wars are about to jump off. Yahweh Shah told us about that, in Matthew the 24th chapter, wars and rumors of wars. Second Ezra 16 also speaks about that this is the beginning of wars, okay? So they're going to use this, as they say, never let a good crisis go to waste. So they're going to use this crisis of a blackout, lack of food, lack of hope, no clean water, no running water. This place about to be a third country, but this is, they're going to come with a solution and say, hey, because people are going to be looking for some sort of relief. So they're going to come and say, hey, if you go to war and fight for America, you're going to be given rations, you're going to be given clothing, you're going to be safe. You're going to be surrounded by other like-minded individuals. That's going to be a way out of the hell that's going on in America. And right now, people can't fathom that because they're used to life as it is right now. But in a chaotic scenario, you're going to be looking for any way to get out of that hell, you see, even if it means going to war and potentially dying. That's better than being here and just waiting to get slaughtered, by some paid mercenaries or somebody. It speaks about Second Ezra 15, people going around with the sword, spoiling people for their goods, for lack of bread, So that's what's going to happen, man. But, they're going to use this to ultimately implement this NWO system that they want to set up, But the power outages, and this is just one cog in the wheel to get people there, as well as inflation squeezing people losing jobs, So, hey, the squeeze is on. The elites are about to go to the next level. So without matter of fact, let me finish this out. Salakia, Second Ezra's 5, and I'll finish the 9th verse. It says, then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber, and shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon earth. One land also shall ask another and say, is righteousness that maketh a man righteous gone through thee? And it shall say no. You see, so that time is going to come where people are going to be seeking for the prophets. People are going to be seeking for knowledge and wisdom, but there is going to be none, because they didn't take hold of it while it was freely available. So without further ado, let's go ahead and play this video. Be right back.
Power outages. You can bet they're coming, just like more cellular outages and Facebook and Meta outages. So you might want to watch this one till the end. Preparing for power outages requires a more structured approach. Breaking it down into increments of time is a smart strategy. Initially focusing on the first 5 minutes involves ensuring immediate safety and access to essential tools. A flashlight, extra batteries, a hand crank radio. These become invaluable during the initial moments. Additionally, having blankets on hand is crucial, especially in regions where temperature control is vital for survival. Moving into the first hour of an outage, the focus shifts onto addressing immediate needs and assessing the situation. Access to alternative sources of energy, such as a generator or solar-powered devices, can provide essential power for communication and basic functions. This hour also serves as a critical window to evaluate the extent of the outage and adjust your plans accordingly. When transitioning into the first 24 hours, the emphasis shifts towards sustaining oneself for a more prolonged period without power. Adequate water and shelf-stable food become essential commodities, as the refrigerator and other perishable goods become inaccessible. Planning for these longer durations requires foresight and preparation to avoid potential shortages and ensure continued comfort and safety.
And the scriptures say that a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, you see. So in this time, the prudent would be the men of the Lord and the few sincere sisters that believe as well. You know, we would be the prudent because we're constantly on our watch. We're seeing what's about to go down, and we're preparing ourselves first and foremost in the spirit, you know, to be able to, you know, navigate through these times, to be close to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, that we can have a hedge of protection and also be in our right mind. The people of this world, look, you have doomsday preppers out here that have bought up years worth of food, years worth of ammo. They got body armor. You know what I'm saying? They done set up booby traps around the house, you see, but that's not going to save you. That's not going to guarantee you anything, really. As a matter of fact, the Lord is going to use that against a lot of these people, man. You see, because guess what? When worse come to worse and 2nd Ezra 15 and 16 come to pass, if you ain't right with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, you're going to be food for the wolves. Straight up. It ain't even no debate about that, you know, and then you can store up all that food. Well, what if it's a scenario where you can't get to your food, you know, or what if, you know, the Lord can make your food spoil? You know, somebody can burn your house down. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you going to do in that situation? All of what you work for in the flesh is going to be in vain. You see, this is why we preached to our people to put your trust in the Lord. You see, because the Lord is the one that's bringing this destruction and evil upon the earth, man. This is the judgment of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So if the Lord is bringing it, you want to be exempt from that judgment. Okay, you don't want the Lord to send spirits of vengeance against you to destroy you. You know, this is why your spiritual fortitude is the most important thing, more than money, more than food. Now, I'm not saying that it is wise to get some provisions while they're available. I'm not saying that you're wicked if you do that. But at the same time, people put their trust into these things wholeheartedly, believing that, yeah, if I just, you know, go ahead and do this, then I'm going to be good. You know, no ill is going to come to me. You see what I'm saying? But if the Lord says otherwise, oh, that ain't going to mean nothing. Let's continue.
As time progresses beyond the initial day, the need for sustainability and resilience becomes increasingly apparent. Anticipating potential disruptions to supply chains and resources is essential, as others in the community may also be seeking out essential items. Having a plan in place for securing additional provisions or alternative solutions becomes critical during this phase of an outage. While homesteaders and survivalists may find themselves more accustomed to these circumstances, it's essential for everyone to assess their individual needs and make appropriate preparations. Each person's situation is unique, and considering factors such as location, the size of your family, medical needs can help tailor preparations to specific requirements. The key takeaway is the importance of proactive planning and preparation. Taking the time to walk through potential scenarios and identifying immediate needs can make all the difference in effectively navigating a power outage. And by doing so ahead of time, individuals can ensure that they have the necessary resources and strategies in place to weather any unforeseen disruptions.
Yeah, so the scriptures speak about in the last days shall come perilous times. You know, many people are unstable, they're unsure, they're on edge, and they're hoping for the best, but don't even realize that the worst is coming. This is an election year. Things about to get very, very crucial, and you know, confusion is going to be at an all-time high. The love of many is waxing cold. We're seeing that evils are increasing in the earth in these days, you know, and lack of resources, comfortability, and this is why the Lord makes us uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? You may be a brother or a sister, you may be going through some things, and you may, wonder why sometime, like, damn, I just can't seem to catch a break. I just can't seem to, get back on track. But that's really the Lord preparing you. You know what I'm saying? Like preparing you for the worst case scenario. You know what I'm saying? So that your spirit is prepared to do with that. Just like it's prepared to deal with that, should I say? Because look, these people in the world that have been comfortable all their life, when they come into some kind of adversity, they're not going to be able to handle it. They're going to off themselves because it's too much for them to bear. And being Israelites, we're used to dealing with hardship. You know what I'm saying? Like we're used to, going without food and not having, the luxuries of life. You know what I'm saying? Like these heathen do, So the Lord has been preparing us all our life for the inevitability of what's coming, you see? And what's coming, okay, because these elites, now this is from Kim.com, and he wrote a piece on the Great Reset, and basically he expounded upon really what this whole thing is all about, and the danger that's about to come, that a lot of people are oblivious to, that they don't really care about. So this is from Kim.com. It says, what is the GR? David Webb describes it best in his book, The Great Taking. Okay, like we just read in 2nd Ezra 5, many shall be taken in a great number. Confusion is going to be in many places, right? So yeah, a lot of people are about to be taken, man. It's a deliberate collapse engineered by the elites via the deep state and central banks to force people into poverty. Don't we see that right now? Don't we see people losing jobs? Don't we see inflation hitting people pockets hard? Don't we see that there's a concerted effort to make people's lives as hard as possible, and for what purpose? So that they can eventually beg for this NWO system and make them dependent on their new digital currency, CBDC, giving them control over everything. And that's really what it's all about. It's all about controlling the people, controlling the minds. You know what I'm saying? When you go into government, that goes into govern, okay, which goes into control, and mint, which is the mind. So they want to control your mind. This is why they pump out so many psyops, okay, so many psychological operations to divert your attention, to distract you from what's really going on. And they want you to depend on this new digital technocracy, okay, because people are not going to have jobs. You know what I'm saying? AI is pretty much going to run everything. But the world they want is for you to be dependent upon universal basic income, which they did a test run with that during the pandemic when they was giving out those stimulus checks. Okay, they told everybody, unless you're an essential worker, you're going to sit your ass at home. You're going to watch TV. You're going to get fat. You're going to get unhealthy. And we're going to pay you for your habits. You see what I'm saying? That was a form of universal basic income back then. And people loved it. You know what I'm saying? People were happy to sit at home and get paid to do nothing. You see? Well, guess what? In this new system, that's about to come back in a big way. Understand? And people are going to be dependent on this system. Okay, as Klaus Schwab said, you shall own nothing and you will be happy. Okay, so in this, just like people was happy to do nothing and sit at home during the pandemic, okay, they were happy to get that $1,200 stimulus check. They were happy to get unemployment and get paid more from that than working an actual job. You see, they were happy at that point. And it's about to come back. You see, so this system of dependency is being set up right before your face. It says here, the legal framework to do this is already in place. Many people in Europe and the U.S. are wondering why their governments are engaging in behavior that is harming their citizens. Wars, uncontrolled immigration, climate change restrictions on farmers, attacks on family values, the endless creation of divisions by the media, and the destabilization of industry, you see? And this all goes into what? Let's go here. Let me go to Daniel 8. Okay, because the scriptures speak about that through his policy, he would cause craft to prosper. This is Daniel 8, and let me start at 24. It says, "And his power shall be mighty." This is talking about the rulers, okay, mainly the Amalekites, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. "And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power," right? So the Most High gave this devil the power to do what he's doing, okay? Esau, he rules under the vibration of Satan, okay, but Satan works for the Most High on the left-hand side, okay? That's crucial to understand. Satan can't just go around doing what he want to do. Satan does what the Most High want him to do, and Esau, he's a vessel being used by the Lord to carry out vengeance and judgment, evil upon the earth. Okay, Esau is that vessel, of wrath fitted for destruction. You see, so the Lord is using him to bring chaos on the earth. All right, that's why this man was created. But not by his own power, and he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper, and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. Yeah, and this devil definitely done, destroyed the Israelites. Verse 25, "And through his policy," okay, so through these laws that he's putting in place, talking about there's a bill they passed in Canada. I think it's C-137 or something like that. That it's like a thought hate crime bill. So basically, if you think, or if you're suspected of thinking about colluding against the government or speaking out against them, they're going to be able to imprison you or fine you. Okay, they've also been talking about banning religious teaching, preaching on the streets. They're really going for banning freedom of speech as a whole. And this goes into his policy. "And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart." Yeah, so this devil has grown proud because all the evil that he's doing, the Lord hasn't judged him yet. So that's pretty much putting a battery in his back to continue what he's doing, because he's seeing that judgment hasn't come to him yet, man. So he's going to continue on, right? So he's magnifying himself. He has become proud in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. Yeah, so he's gonna, like Esau, this devil, he's talking about bringing this new system in because what? It's gonna make the earth a safer place. Okay, we need digital IDs because we're gonna know who's who. Everybody's gonna be tracked and traced. Everybody's gonna have a digital ID that's gonna be connected to the grid and blockchain system. You know what I'm saying? So there is going to be no more anonymous payment. There is going to be no more just coming and going as you please anonymously. No, if you want to go to the next city, you got to have the MOT to the B so that we can know who you are coming into this city. You know what I'm saying? Cities as you know it now are not even going to be like this. They're going to set up 15-minute cities. You know what I'm saying? They already got one in Arizona that I believe is running now. You see what I'm saying? So we see that this is not a C theory. It's not bugged out talk. This is real life. This is real, like a real situation that's going down right now, man. And by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, which is Yahushua, whom the world called Christ. But he shall be broken without hand. You see that? So by his policy, by his legal framework as it is outlined in this article, this man is causing chaos, to reign supreme on the earth. You see, but yeah, all these things, wars, uncontrolled immigration, climate change restrictions, attacks on family values. Why are these things being done? To what end? Well, this is to bring in a satanic rulership government on the planet Earth. That's the end all be all, right? It's not by accident. It's deliberate. The globalist elites understand that the Western system of unsustainable debt and money printing is coming to an end. The BRICS countries know this too and have created an alternative global financial system to circumvent the inevitable collapse of the West. This is the real source of tensions between the West and Russia and China. The de-dollarization of global trade makes the global reset non-global and provides an alternative to those who refuse to participate. It creates an obstacle to the global debt forgiveness the West tries to achieve by forcing their new financial system on the world. They have no intention to pay their debts, and this is why you see that the 35 trillion and counting debt continues to climb, and they continue to print money. They continue to print money, billions of dollars that they don't have, and send this funds, send these funds that's really not even real to these other nations so that they can support their war effort. All right. And that's just making them more in debt. You see, the West wants to replace their failed system. Pay attention here, with a new global system of totalitarian control. CBDCs, digital currencies paired with surveillance and a social credit system that will restrict access to money if you act against their rules. Yeah. So if you speak out against them, if you refuse to get the MOT to the B, if you buck up against the mainstream narrative, you're not going to be able to buy and sell. See, you're not going to be able to exist in society. You're going to be an outcast. More than likely, they're going to delete you. You see, because they're not going to have no use for you. They want your mind. See, they want your soul. And if you don't sell your soul to this devil, then he ain't got no use for you. You see? Says here, they want the ability to sanction you on an individual level, just like they sanction countries that don't obey the U.S. based order. You know what I'm saying? And we definitely seeing that. Paper money will cease to exist. Independent digital currencies will be prohibited. Your ability to pay your bills and buy food will depend on your behavior. And that goes into the social credit system. You know what I'm saying? Like they got it set up in China right now, but that's basically going to be the new wave in this, NWO system. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to have a score, and certain things that you do can hurt or help your score. Speaking against the elites or trying to induce independent thought is going to be detrimental to your score in that system. You know what I'm saying? But this is the world that these devils want to set up. And if they was left to their own devices, this is what it would be. And this life is already BS, but this is even worse. This is basically, you're a mental slave. OK, you're a mental slave without shackles, man. You see, in this new system that they want to create. And call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that we at the end of this thing, we about to get up out of here, because this is how the world would be run if the heathen were given an eternal kingdom. This is how the world would be run if Esau was let to have his way. You see, your ability to pay your bills and buy food will depend on your behavior. It's the end of free speech and protests. AI will be trained to control the behavior of billions of people. You will all be slaves. Okay, so that's pretty much all I want to get out of that. But hey, man, look, this is some diabolical. These are some diabolical plans that's about to come down, man. And I say it again, the elites are desperate. They don't have nothing left to lose, but they feel like they got everything to gain. Because Esau, his mindset is pretty much, if I'm going out, I'm about to go out with a bang. You see? We can close out on this right here. All right? Because these migrant gangs in these cities, like I said, paid mercenaries. Look, man, they done let all kind of people into America, and they refuse to close the border. You mean to tell me they got billions of dollars to send overseas to fund wars that really shouldn't even be happening, that America has no real interest in? But when it comes to America, as we just read in that article, this is all deliberate. These borders have been opened deliberately. all kind of people have been let in and paid off to eventually be agent provocateurs of chaos. And you about to see this stuff happen, very shortly. Okay, you about to see Second Ezra 15 and 16 blow up for real. So let's play this.
Police say more than 24 people were involved in 2 separate attacks last night.
Both of these violent crimes were committed by large groups of people, many of them teenagers. Detectives question 10 suspects they have in custody, but say more than a dozen are still on the run.
Well, that's reassuring. Kind of.
Police investigating 2 violent attacks that happened just hours apart in Times Square.
This same area, you have multiple.
And look, this is all part of the agenda. This is all part of that GR. You see? Cause the chaos, bring the order. But really, who is this coming from? Yeah, Esau, he's the one that's putting the policies in place. But it all goes back to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. You know what I'm saying? It all goes back to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And let me get this in Amos 3 and verse 5. It says, can a bird fall in a snare upon the earth where no jinn is for him? So jinn, that goes into a trap, right? Shall one take up a snare from the earth and have taken nothing at all? Verse 6, shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city and the Lord hath not done it? Yeah, so the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai brings evil to these cities. Okay, the Lord is the author of life and death, you see, and he's also the author of chaos and peace. See, the Lord does all these things, man, but he uses vessels to carry these things out upon the earth. All right, and once again, Esau is that vessel of wrath, but this is the judgment of the Lord, man. And let's read in 2 Ezra 15 why these cities are being troubled like they are. 2 Ezra 15 and 18, for because of their pride, right? These people are proud as hell in Babylon the Great, man. Even the homeless people are proud. You know what I'm saying? Even the bums are proud here in Babylon the Great. Women are proud. Men are proud. Everybody just walking around with all this pride, but you ain't got shit though. You don't know nothing. You don't got nothing. You may have a couple $1,000s in your bank account. Now you got your nose up in the air. You know what I'm saying? Now you think you somebody. You know what I'm saying? Social media got everybody bugged out. People walking around like they God or something. But you see, the Lord about to humble these people, man. You see, the Lord about to humble these people big time. And when it do happen, it ain't going to be no remedy. Okay. It's not going to be no, all right, chill out. Let me get right. No, it ain't going to be none of that. You know what I'm saying? The Lord about to drop the hammer on these people, man. And it's well deserved. You see, nobody fears the Lord. Everybody's involved in all kind of wickedness. Nobody wants to repent. And that's really because judgment hasn't been executed speedily, as the scriptures say. Because judgment, is a slack, because the law is slack. People increasing their wickedness, and they think because nothing bad has happened to them yet, they just gonna keep on doing what they doing. You see, but this judgment is about to come to correct that. This judgment is going to come to put a stop to that pride. All right. Yeah, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Let me jump up to 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Yeah, because another thing that's coming is checkpoints. You see, because once these 15-minute cities is set up, and once the chaos does happen, it's going to be martial law. You're not going to be able to travel past a certain limit. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to just go freely as you please right now. You see what I'm saying? Because they're going to have to take certain measures to shut stuff down and say, nobody comes in past this point. And, nobody leaves past this point. You understand? So they're going to cut you off into certain zones. All right. That's why you're not going to be able to go into a city. If you got family in another state that you want to see, you're not going to be able to jump on a plane or drive out there to be with them. No, hey, you you going to be quarantined. Then, of course, you got disease X that's coming. So a lot of stuff is going to come to where they're going to justify their actions. Like I just read in Daniel, through his policy, he shall cause craft to prosper. This is what the scripture was talking about, man. This is what the prophets of old saw. They saw the signs of the future and all the judgment and hell calamity that was happening in these last days that we're, seeing in real time happen right now. Call halal Yahweh Shemel Shai. You see? Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. These are times that we're in. Okay, lack of bread, the famine is coming, because the supply chain is is breaking down. And also, we're in the midst of an economic collapse, okay, in which a lot of businesses are going to close down. These full storehouses, as is mentioned in 2 Ezra 6, shall suddenly be found empty. Farms are being attacked. Farmers are being attacked. Food is not being produced like it once was. See, so because of these things, because of the judgment of the Lord is coming upon the earth, people are going to be in a state of sorrow and anguish. They're gonna cry out for some sort of relief. Okay, that's going to come in the form of the NWO. Let's continue.
multiple migrant shelters. This is the location where 2 NYPD officers were attacked by a group of migrants just last month.
This knife and this broom handle, police say, were involved in an attack seen from surveillance video near 8th Avenue and 42nd Street.
So what does all this say about safety in that area?
Everything just seems out of control.
I mean, it's definitely not something I've seen in the last 12 years that I've lived here.
ICE confirming that 2 of the suspects in this case are members of a brutal Venezuelan gang. That gang is called Tren de Aragua.
So here we are, just south of Times Square, and right now there's a manhunt going on for 16 different people. And if you add to that 2 outstanding suspects from another incident, that's 18 people who may have done something that the police are looking for. They could be literally anywhere. This is a big city, and both these attacks occurred within 2 hours of each other right here in Times Square. However, since the asylum crisis began, over 170,000 people have come to New York seeking a right to shelter. And even though asylum seekers have been involved in some of these incidents, that small minority of people does not represent the majority, many of whom have come here fleeing extreme poverty. And as you'll soon see, local New Yorkers have been arrested in some of these very same incidents as well. And there are disturbing coincidences between these 3 attacks, which city leaders do not want to talk about. But before we uncover what these recent events mean for New York City and its sanctuary status, it's important to understand that critics are saying this could just be the beginning of a much larger, much more frightening trend here in New York.
A 19-year-old charged in the attack on cops is now accused in a robbery, and questions are growing about why he was let out in the first place. Eyewitness News.
So this is one of the asylum seekers who was arrested in the police attack a month ago, released without bail, and then rearrested after a shoplifting incident. That's a lot of arrests. Now, you'd imagine that somebody who recently was arrested for attacking the police would lay low for a while. But no, that's not what happened. And critics are blaming New York City's consequence-free environment for proliferating this type of activity. And they say if somebody can attack the police and then get released, it should come as no surprise when they do something else that is also against the law. But this very...
And yeah, the precedent has already been set. If they out here attacking police, nobody's safe. If they out here attacking police and they can't do nothing, then who's really safe, man? You see? And this ain't just happening in New York. This is happening all over America. Like it's not getting mainstream attention like that. But pretty much in every major city, these kind of things are going on. You see, but it's only going to get worse because these them people still coming over the border. You see? So with that, they've been talking about these cities didn't start to see, because violence has always been in the big cities, but now it's making people incredibly afraid, man. You know, the scriptures speak about, men shall be afraid in that day. A man shall have his hands on his loins like a woman. You see? So, yeah, man, people are on edge. It's a very uncertain and scary time for those that don't have no faith. You see what I'm saying? But, hey, wars are going to be in the streets, man. Wars are going to be in the streets. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have gangs clicked up. They're going to be, graping women, They're going to be, hey, they going to be out here having their way. It's going to be a lawless society. If you can't look, if one of these gang members was to attack you right now and you was to call NYPD 911, they can't help you. They can't do nothing against them. They've been given an order. And again, that goes back to that policy, you see? So they're just being given free reign to just rain terror on these Americans. And this is all being done because the elites, they need to find a way circumvent around the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and all this stuff. Like, they have to bring you to a point to where you're so scared, to where you're so afraid and uncertain that you will give up your rights willingly. Okay? F the Constitution, destroy that. We just want peace and safety, but when they call for that peace and safety, sudden destruction is going to come. But yeah, man, wars, not only overseas, but right here in America, civil war is about to jump off to a major degree, man. Okay. And hey, it's going to be a lot of bodies lined up. It's going to be a lot of body bags, man. You see, amongst other things, wars, disease, famine. This is going to be a time like no other, man. 2nd Ezra 16:34, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed. Okay, when you read up a verse, it talks about the virgins mourning, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. And it's going to be because, men, there's already a shortage of men. Women right now outnumber men like what, 40, depending on where you at, like 14-1. 14 women for every one man. You know what I'm saying? But hey, men are going to be sent overseas to war. They're going to be dying here in the streets of America. You see what I'm saying? So these women are going to be, they're not going to have a head. They're not going to have protection. They're not going to have a head. And really, even when you look at people like Kevin Samuels and, the whole manosphere movement, that was really to tell these women that look, that's, that was really like the Lord trying to communicate with you, through putting the spirit on men to put you back in your place, to put you back in reality, because these times are coming. These times are here right now, matter of fact, to where your career and your money and what you got and like that ain't going to mean shit. You see, once this economy collapses, that ain't going to mean a damn thing. What's going to matter is that you have a man of the Lord. What's going to matter is that you have a head of protection in that day. You see, because you women, you're supposed to serve your Yahweh Shem Shai through your man, because that, your man is supposed to be your head. But this world has told these women, oh yeah, go out, get a career, make, get money and do all this BS that, is not profitable at the end of the day. It's not profitable, man. The fashion of this world is passing away and you're operating outside of what the Lord created you to do. So when destruction comes, a lot of these women is going to be through, man. And that's when that Isaiah 4:1 is going to come in, into effect. 7 women shall take hold of one man, but 7 goes into completion, a complete number of women for whatever said man, are going to come and say, let us be called by your name to take away our reproach. That, hey, these are the days that we're coming into. All right. So, hey, the Lord gave, women wanted to be free, women wanted to, be allowed to gather abroad and do their own thing. But look how it's turning out. It ain't turning out so good because they're not happy. They're, because they're not in their design purpose, you see. And it's going to be even more profound when there's really no men, you see. That's when they're going to want to serve a man, because when the jobs are gone, when money is no more, when there's chaos in the streets and you scared to go outside, that's when you're gonna see that the devil, Esau Edom, that he pushed that serpent venom unto you, man. And hey, women believed it, fell for it, and they ain't gonna have nothing to show for it. So yeah. In the war shall their bridegroom be destroyed, and their husband shall perish of famine. Verse 35, hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Behold the word of the Lord, and receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh, and are not slack. And that's the point, man. The plagues draw nigh and are not slack. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out here. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying and informative through the Rakah Kedash. And until next time, shalom to the elect.